Uplift. Work hard. It's what I was born to do. It's important for you to understand that your experience facing and overcoming adversity is actually one of your biggest advantages. Everybody wants to fulfill the highest, truest expression of yourself. Shift and Uplift.
Hey. Welcome back to another episode of the Shift and Uplift Podcast. Here, we give you your weekly dose of inspiration, empowerment, and a little bit of soul searching. I'm your host, The Jacques. And as always, I'm here to remind you how much of a freaking bad that you really are. No matter where you are in your journey, you're not alone. Today, we're talking about one of the most beautiful and sometimes difficult journeys we'll ever take, the journey of loving ourselves. This episode is about embracing solitude, recognizing the roles people play in our lives, and learning to create the life and relationships we truly deserve. So grab your favorite tea, your cup of joe, get cozy, and let's dive into this conversation about self-love, growth, and an incredible tribe of people who help us soar. So it's really important to just break down why loving yourself is the foundation of every great relationship. Well, in this episode, we'll talk about why being alone is not the same as being lonely, how toxic relationships make us forget what healthy love feels like, the different roles people play in our lives, from roadblocks to guiding lights, and the importance of having a supportive tribe, or your pilots, as I call mine. Plus, I'll share a little bit about my own journey and the incredible love and support that I receive from my team of pilots who keep me grounded and lifted all the time. By the end of this episode, you'll feel inspired, empowered, and ready to embrace the love that you deserve. Story time. Let me take you back to a time when I kind of feel like, compared to now, I didn't know so much of my worth. I was used to seeing the toxic relationships that I kind of felt that was normal. So healthy love felt weird and a little bit foreign, the kind where you're chasing after love, bending over backwards, and still feeling like you're not enough. I was seeing my friends and other people go through that. So I thought that's what all relationships should be like. But then one day I met some people who showed me a different kind of love. They showed me love was kind and patient and consistent. They didn't just say that they cared, but they showed it every single day. And you know which part I love about the pilots is the pilots don't just show love when we're on great terms. Even when we're on bad terms or uneasy terms or not so happy terms, they still love me and equally respect me as much. That's what I call real love. At first, I honestly didn't even know how to accept it. I questioned it, I doubted it, and sometimes I would push people away. But you know what? The problem wasn't them. It was me. I didn't even know if I was ready for that type of love. And then when you find it once and you get it again, no way. This cannot be life. I had to learn to love myself first, to believe that I deserve a good love, and to stop letting the fear of being like others or being alone keep me stuck in cycles that didn't serve me. So loving yourself and embracing solitude it's a great experience. Let's talk about one of the most transformative journeys you'll ever take, and that's learning to love yourself and finding peace in solitude. For many of us, this sounds like a luxury, maybe even a little cliche, but here's the truth. Loving yourself is a radical act of self-respect and survival. We live in a world that glorifies the hustle, relationships, and constant connections. If you're not constantly pouring into others, Society may make you feel like you're selfish, you're lazy, or you're ungrateful. But let's be honest. How many times have you sacrificed your peace or time and energy to be everything for everyone? How many late night calls have you taken even when you were already running on empty? How often have you prioritized someone else's happiness over your own well-being? Here's the reality. You can't pour from an empty cup. Loving yourself isn't selfish. It's foundational. When you truly prioritize yourself, you create space for real growth, real peace, and real love to enter your life. The power of solitude, they're not ready for this. There's a reason why solitude is often misunderstood. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. Solitude is where you meet yourself without the noise of the world, without the expectations of others, and without the distraction of trying to fix everyone else. You just discover who you are. Solitude gives you that strength to explore your own likes, dislikes, dreams, and fears without external influences. You can tune into your own desires. What do you want out of life? Not what others want out of life for you. Now, healing and reflection is super important on this journey as well, because being alone is where your healing journey begins. It's where you can finally sit with your emotions that you've been avoiding, and you can let them surface without judgment. You start to process and release and rebuild. Clarity? What? And peace? What? Solitude gives you all of that. When the chaos of the world fades, you can finally see what aligns with you and your values and what doesn't. It's like a reset button for your soul. Sometimes you just gotta overcome the fear of being alone. Why are there so many of us afraid to be alone? It's because we've been conditioned to believe that solitude is failure. Society says that if you're not in a relationship and you're not surrounded by friends, if you're not constantly busy, you're doing life wrong. But let me tell you something. Being alone is a superpower. Familiarity breeds comfort. Many of us stay in toxic situations because they're familiar. Maybe you grew up witnessing dysfunctional relationships, so now you think love has to be chaotic. And sometimes you kind of think that that's what real love is. Maybe you had a super bad relationship and you feel like maybe in that one you got cheated on, but they loved you. So when your other partner is cheating on you, that's real love too. But the thing is, love isn't supposed to hurt. It isn't supposed to drain you or make you question your worth. The fear of the unknown is so big. Like sometimes we rather hold on to something toxic than to face the uncertainty of being alone. But let me tell you this, the freedom and peace that you find in solitude, it's unmatched. You're not losing anything by leaving a bad situation. You're gaining yourself. Lack of self-worth. When you don't believe you're worthy, you settle for crumbs because you think that's all you'll deserve. But here's the truth. You are deserving of a love that is so kind and consistent and whole. And that love starts with you. Here's some practical steps to take in order to help you embrace solitude. Number 1, take yourself on dates. Start small. Go to a coffee shop, take a walk in a park, or even visit a museum. Learn to enjoy your own company. Number 2, journal your thoughts. Write down what you're feeling. When you're dreaming, write it down. And what you're grateful for, write it down. Journaling is a powerful way to just connect with yourself. Number 3, create a routine that fills you up. Make time for activities that bring you joy. Whether it's reading, dancing, cooking, or meditating, your time is valuable. So spend it on things that make you feel alive. Number 4, sit with discomfort. It's okay to feel uncomfortable at first. Change is never easy, but the more you lean into solitude, the more you'll see it as a gift rather than punishment. Now, why loving yourself changes everything? It's because when you love yourself, you stop tolerating less than you deserve. You stop accepting toxicity because you know your peace is so much more valuable. And here's the magic. When you prioritize yourself, you act better, you attract better. The relationships that you allow into your life are healthier because you set the standard. Loving yourself also helps you recognize the roles you play and the roles people play in your life. You stop clinging on to those people who aren't meant to stay, and you start cherishing the ones who are truly meant to uplift you. So sometimes you just got to invest in yourself and your understanding in the roles that people play. You see, growth isn't just about adding value or adding new skills or adding achievements to your resume. It's about looking inward and healing your wounds and building a life that reflects your true desires and values. And along that journey, every person you meet plays a great part in shaping who you are. The investment into yourself is the best gift you can ever give yourself. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that the most transformative relationships we'll ever have are the ones that we cultivate with ourselves. Too often we pour into others, friends, partners, family, and while doing so, we neglect our own needs. But here's the truth. You can't build healthy connections with others until you build one with yourself. Get honest about what you need. Let's start with the hard part, honesty. How often do you really settle for what's convenient instead of what's truly fulfilling? It's time to stop playing small. Sit down with yourself and ask, what do I want from life? What do I need to feel loved? What do I need to feel seen and valued? And what am I tolerating that I shouldn't? Write it down. Say it out loud. Dream big without worrying about whether it's too much. The moment that you start getting honest about your needs is the moment that you take your power back. You have to heal before you build. Healing is a process, not a destination. Before you can build the life that you want, you have to confront the pain of the past. Maybe it's a breakup that left the scars. Maybe it's a friendship turned sour. Or even maybe it's self-inflicted wounds that created self-doubt. Whatever it is, you just need to face it. Consider therapy. Seek professional help. It's not a weakness, it's a strength. Just journal your emotions and write letters, even if you'll never send them. Practice mindfulness or meditation or quiet the noise you hear in your inner voice. Healing isn't easy. It's messy and it's uncomfortable. But it's also so liberating. The more you heal, the less you let your wounds dictate your future. Create a life that you love alone. One of the most powerful investments is learning to love your own company. Travel solo and explore new places and discover how capable you are. Here's the beauty of loving your own company. When you truly are content with being alone, you won't settle for anything less than extraordinary in your relationships because you'll know your worth and you spent so much time to get where you are. So you just have to understand the roles that people play in your life. Not everyone is here to stay, and that's okay. Some people are here for a season and some people are here for a reason, and then you have a few that's here for a lifetime. Understand their roles so that way it can help you navigate relationships with clarity, grace, and gratitude. Roadblocks are not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes they just redirectors. The roadblocks are really the people who delay you. Maybe it's an ex who broke your heart or a friend who turned toxic. And sometimes it feels kind of frustrating in the beginning. And it's even devastating, I'm not going to lie. But in hindsight, you realize their role was to redirect you to something better. So you just go through a bit of a tropical storm and then you'll be fine. Just think about it. What if that break hadn't happened? Would you have stayed on that path that was bad? That wasn't meant for you? Were you better without that person before you met him? Sometimes roadblocks are blessings in disguise. They just save you from a future that wasn't even aligned with your highest good. Assignments, they're really teachers. Assignments just help you challenge yourself. They stretch you and they break you wide open. They're not always easy to deal with, but they're lessons and they're priceless. Maybe it's a boss who pushed you out of your comfort zone, the partner who showed you what you didn't want in a relationship, or even a friend who forced you to set boundaries for the first time. These people are here to teach you something about yourself, your strength, your values, your worth. Their lessons might be tough, but they're necessary for growth. Sometimes you have people that's angels and guiding lights. Some people come into your life like a whisper. They're not here to stay, but their presence is so profound. Maybe it's the stranger who gave you that advice at the exact moment that you needed it. Maybe it's me. Haha, had to throw that in there. Maybe it's a friend who reminded you of your worth when you forgot it. Sometimes the angels just remind us to stay loving and safe and true to our path. They may not walk with us for long, but their impact is so lasting. Your tribe, my pilots, yeah, that's them. Now, these are the people who are here for the long haul. These are the people who see you, that love you, that stand by you. And even when you make mistakes, I, of course, call them my pilots because they are here to help me guide my journey. And they're here to provide me with the love that I need in the darkest hours. My supporting cast, they're my greatest blessings. They've shown me what patience is like. They show me to calm down when I'm overwhelmed. They've shown me the kindness that I need when I've been hard on myself. And they give me love in ways that I've never thought that I would get. They're the ones who remind me of my worth when I forget. They hold me down and hold me accountable to my dreams. And when we celebrate my wins like their wins and their wins like my wins, no matter how big or small. My tribe is sacred. They're not perfect, but neither am I. But together, you guys can create something unshakable. And that's worth everything. Travelers, life is a journey, and you're exactly where you need to be. Whether you're healing, thriving, or somewhere in between, just know that you're not alone. We've all been there before. We've all grown together. You are capable of creating the life and the love that you deserve. It starts with one step, choosing yourself first. So today, take a moment to honor your journey, appreciate your tribe, and pour back into yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Shift and Uplift Podcast. I am so grateful for your time, your energy, and your support. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a great review, and let us know which topics you'll love to hear about in the future. You can follow us on Instagram at Shift and Uplift, everything spelled out. Until next time, travelers, keep thriving, keep loving yourself, and keep believing in the beautiful life that you're building. Safe travels. And remember, you got this.
Work hard. Shift and uplift. Work hard. It's what I was born to do. It's important for you to understand that your experience facing and overcoming adversity is actually one of your biggest advantages. Everybody wants to fulfill the highest, truest expression of yourself. Shift and Uplift with JOC.